Welcome, fellow seekers of challenge and triumph, to the SufferSooner podcast. Join us on a journey where ordinary souls embark on extraordinary endeavors. From the relentless grind of gravel to the punishing gauntlet that is triathlon, we've tasted our fair share of suffering. So fellow endurance warriors, let's lace up our shoes, strap on our goggles, and dive headfirst into the challenge, knowing that with every step, stroke, and pedal forward, we grow stronger together. What's going on, guys? Episode 84. Gonna talk about some unwritten rules of cycling. just because you know, I heard a pro went down on a mountain this last week, and so I figured we'd talk about some of that, and then some other once in a lifetime type things that are happening in the cycling world. But first, we're going to talk about our giveaway to Open Range. So if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up, heart emoji. You love us, you hate us, whatever you want to put on there.
Even the haters get entered.
The haters get entered in. So for your chance to win a free entry to Open Range.
Yeah, I mean, this is a beautiful thing. Like, you could have already registered and you get a chance to get a little bit of cash back in your pocket. And not very often we get to give away a race entry. So that's like, a couple of tires maybe. So,
yeah, that's again, Eric was super kind enough to gift us this entry. So so we're, like I said, just you're gonna put a little comment in the YouTube or the Spotify, and I'll be able to find it. And we're gonna do something kind of fun in the last half of March to have like a drawing for it. So it should be exciting. We got some plans, but
we'll tease it out a little bit as we get closer. But
you got to enter though.
You got to enter. You can't, you got to enter to win. It's one of those things. And just be clear, this is pure engagement farming.
Yes.
There's no shame.
Yeah, no shame.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. So if you like the podcast, if you like what we're doing, and you somewhat tolerate us every week, give us a thumbs up. We'll put you in to win an entry into Open Range. And who knows, maybe this sparks some other cool giveaways to the other local races. We'd love to promote those guys. Again, we're not getting anything from it. We're already paid for Open Range,
already registered.
We're
paid
already
full price.
Yeah, we paid full
didn't
price.
Even use our own discount code.
We didn't use our discount code. It's just a little transparency. I believe in the races that I show up to. I don't me and Danny feel strongly, we're not asking for them for handouts or charity or any of that stuff. We just want to promote the races that we really like. And so that's what we do. And that's what we want to do, is just bring really great gravel to all of you guys, and really great triathlons. The local triathlon scene is really good. I
see this as a great opportunity. So Open Range, Pratt, Kansas, it's a few hour drive from the Kansas City area. And if it's one of those races that you kind of been on the edge about, you're not sure if you want to do it, this is a great opportunity. Get a free entry and
go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. And even if you don't get the free entry, still check it out. It's an awesome race.
I consider it to be one of the best races outside of like the big one, Unbound and stuff. Just it ticks so many boxes. It's huge on adventure. It's a epic day if you're doing the 200, even though you're not doing 200 miles, but you're doing 129 miles, and you earn every single one of those miles.
If that wind kicks up, it's a harder course than Unbound.
Yes.
I mean, I know you're out on the course longer for Unbound just because of the distance, but it's a harder course. And I don't mean that to scare anybody off. I mean that is, if you're thinking about Unbound and you're not sure, this would be a great litmus test for you. So I know we talk about this one a lot on the show. We get a lot of grief for it.
We get a lot of grief for it.
People have formed drinking games. I'm told that the last person that played the drinking game is still comatose. So we're hoping that they can sober up before the season starts. But
exactly. Get back at it.
Get back at it. Get back on the trainer. But all kidding aside, it's we just love this event. And hey, if there's other races that want to have us promote a similar giveaway, we're happy to do it. It doesn't have to be a race entry. It could be anything. But we love promoting the races that we participate in. And again, we don't expect anything out of it individually, but if there's something that we can do to help bring visibility to your race, love to do it.
Yep.
So, cool. All right.
All right.
So what do you want to get into this week? What did you say? Unwritten rules.
Unwritten rules.
Where's the cycling rule book at? That's the first thing. Let's get that out of the way.
Right? Like cycling is the sport of unwritten rules. There's always
isn't it? What is the official sock height?
Exactly. What's 3/4 up your calf? If you didn't know,
you knew that a little too quick.
I know. So of course there's different, but whatever. Yeah, I've coming from New Mexico and stuff. There's a heavy culture of cycling and what you wear and who you ride for and how you look on the bike and all that stuff.
No time for that.
When I moved to the Midwest, everybody is just a little bit more laid back. So I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you notice, I don't really fit in a lot of spots. I'm not a rule.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm glad you got that out in the open.
Yeah, I'm not. If
you buck a trend.
When you think about Travis, you don't think about rule following.
Yeah, compliant.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody who knows me knows that's not. Usually, if you want me to do something, say it's rule
against the rules.
It's against the rules, and I'll go do it. You know, but yeah. So there is a few unwritten rules I think that are good to follow. That make sense.
Yeah.
The other one, we're gonna get into this one. Just the idea of pros and amateurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't know, if you didn't read the story, or if you haven't heard anything, Jonas Vingegaard, who is a Tour de France winner, he's a elite cyclist.
Yeah.
He's out on a training ride doing his stuff. He's descending down. Well, he's coming up over a mountain pass. Somebody recognizes him, an amateur, and decides, hey, I want to see how good I am.
Sure.
And I start to follow Jonas.
Yeah.
On the descent, he's taking video. The amateur's taking video. Jonas basically, in his own words of the amateur, that Jonas tried to drop him on the descent. And then
which is hard to do, by the way. I mean,
I
mean, you're going down a hill.
Yeah, you're going down a hill, you're trying to drop somebody, you're accelerating. Okay. Yeah. I'll get into what I think happened and the reasons for it or whatever. But and then at kind of towards the end, there's a big chicane, and Jonas kind of slid off the road and kind of messed up his face a little bit. And the guy pulled over and asked if Jonas needed help, and Jonas said no, and very angrily kind of shoot him away and was kind of mad at him, and basically spawned this debate about pros and amateurs. And I think the amateur's quote was you can be a pro, but you can also be humble and stuff like that. And of course Jumbo Visma didn't have that's who Jonas rides for, his team. Didn't have they just said he was injured, but it wasn't anything major.
It's not going to put his season in jeopardy.
Yeah, so his season's not in jeopardy. So and I think about this when we go to Unbound and stuff, right? Like you could show up to Unbound, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 weeks beforehand and start to ride with the pros. Like I think Keegan and all those guys,
you'll see them out there
super early, just to get familiar with the course. And my thinking is like, do we have a right to ride with them? It's public roads,
I don't know about it.
I don't know if we can ride. I mean, I couldn't ride.
I was going to say, I mean, if they wanted to drop you, they would. I guess I would look at it as, I think there's a certain just respect and etiquette that people should have there, right? I don't know if it's a rule. I mean, it's much as just common sense. I
always think of it as this is their job.
That's exactly where I was going. It's their job.
I don't show up to Danny's work and just be like, hey, let me type on the keyboard for a little while.
Right.
Buddy.
Let me jump on this call and interrupt you in the middle of your conference call.
Yeah, conference call. Let me make some decisions regarding your financial future.
Right. Let me go ahead and sign this contract.
Yeah.
I know. And that's exactly where I was going to go too. It's like, have the respect that these people are, they are effectively putting in their day of work.
Yeah. And this is their job.
This is their craft.
And they love to ride bikes, and they probably do love to ride with people. But when you're at your bank, let's say you're a bank teller or something like that, you're not hanging out on the bank at your day off going, hey, what's the money like here? No, you're
You know, like you don't want other people hanging around you while you're working. So like, let him work. And when he's just goofing off and playing and just riding bikes, I'm sure he's super down. And I think, and most of the pros I've ever met are super down to ride with people as long as it's safe.
Yeah, I think that's it, is the safety thing. Like, even if, okay, so let's just play this out for a second and say, hey, what if we were to cross paths with, name a pro, and it's like, it's one thing if you catch up to them and you say hi and then you drop off, but even that's risky, because especially in gravel, but even on a road conditions, like, anything can happen out there, and you don't ride with them. You don't know where they're going. You don't know what they're going to do. And
you don't know what their style's like.
Yeah. You're just pulling up beside them and saying hi to them. Like, I get it. You might want to keep your distance. And then, if they ask you to leave, then leave. Like, but I can't imagine that, a team like Jumbo Visma or any of these pros are going to just be out there like, oh yeah, let's just hang out with the amateurs. No, they're out there to put a training day in.
Yeah.
And
their season's coming up.
Coming up, right? And they don't want to take any unnecessary risk. Hey, if it's a off day and they're just having a coffee ride, sure. You catch them at a coffee shop, sure, fair game. But yeah, you catch them out on the road like that, nah. Even if especially you say it was at the top of a mountain pass and
he was getting ready to crest it and then start riding over.
Yeah, that's like going out of your way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the guy caught him on the mountain pass, like you know. And that's where I was.
And even if he did,
yeah, it'd be one thing if you're going, 8 miles an hour up a mountainside and you want to pull up next to him and say hi. And we talk about this a lot with cars on the road too. It's not the fact you're passing me; it's the fact you're passing me at a high rate of speed and you're so close to me. That's when it bothers me.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. Like, you're going down a descent next to a pro. I mean, if I were Jonas, I've been freaked out. You don't have any idea if this guy knows how to handle his bike or not. It's real easy to go down a hill fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's pretty messed up. I think it's just common sense. I don't even know if it has to be a written rule, but that's common sense. Just leave these guys alone.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is like, I'll speak from my personal experience. I break the wind very well, and I'm good to be drafting behind. I've been riding and people have been behind me and I didn't know they were there.
Yeah.
And the fact that I didn't know they were there made it unsafe, because when I'm like riding by myself, I can change lines. I can, go different places. I can goof around. I can look around. It's a little bit different when I know somebody's on my wheel.
Yeah,
right. And
that's
so like when they show up behind you and they don't say anything, it does get really like we could have crashed. And a lot of times, we have this spot in Kansas City, this downtown airport. It's a big loop that we can ride on. And I usually ride my TT bike down there. And a lot of people's favorite thing to do is draft off the guy that's riding a TT bike.
Right? Why not?
Well, I'm stuck riding with my head forward. So I don't know if I wouldn't know if if they're behind me. And the only way I can tell is kind of like looking at the shadows. Mm-hmm. So the only time I've really gotten mad at somebody for drafting off of me is at the downtown airport, because I'm on my TT bike.
Yeah. And, which you're in a vulnerable position.
Yeah. Which I'm already vulnerable. And then the second is they're drafting right behind me.
Yeah. Well, that's another good one. So maybe that's a good one to kind of get into, is just drafting in general. Obviously out on a ride, whatever, race, training ride, doesn't really matter. I mean,
in a race, it's expected.
Drafting
I
in a race.
assume that everybody is going to be drafting off of me. And there's always somebody.
And they may never come through for a pull.
Yeah, and maybe never come through. And that's fine. The thing is I hold my line when I'm riding a race. I point stuff out, even if somebody's not there. Mm-hmm. There's just things that you do because you know that there's a chance that somebody bridged up to you and you didn't notice.
Right. And you're just in a different state of awareness on that. Like when you're out, but we're out on a training ride, and this happens all the time with us. Like we've ridden, and I'm sure people listening, like you have your groups that you ride with, rider styles, whether you consciously think about it or not, you know their style, and like when they get up out of the saddle, which way they tend to lean, like just instinct starts to kick in. We ride enough together. Like I have no hesitation, like occasionally overlapping a wheel on a certain situation, like not intentionally, but it might happen. And you're like, okay, don't freak out too much, because I know, where to keep everything, and vice versa. Right. But if I don't know that person, then, there's no way I ever even come close to putting myself, like I'll ride really close to your back wheel and know that if I overlap it, it's not a big deal. But I am not going to sit there and ride that close to somebody where that's even a possibility if I've never ridden with them. And I don't do it in races either. Like in races, I always keep that extra little distance because unless I know them or unless I've ridden several miles already and kind of see what their tendencies are, you just can't do that because it just puts too much danger into the situation.
Yeah,
so
it's super easy to go down.
It is. So. And I say that about overlapping wheels, and that's a dangerous thing to do no matter how good you know somebody. And we saw it happen last year.
Happened to me.
Well, no, that's what I mean. We did Dirty Disco last year, and we saw it happen where, the road just out of nowhere, and it wasn't any fault of anybody up front. There was no way to call it out in time with the speeds we were going, and the road got rutted up, and all of a sudden wheels start shifting, and people started overlapping, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so. Yeah, I just think again, common sense more than anything, but it's just wild what people come up with. Do.
So anytime, if you're thinking about drafting off of somebody in a public situation, not a race situation, at least let them know that you're back there.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, I'm back here. Right. Can I, mind if I sit on your wheel? And if they're cool, they'll probably let you sit on there or be like, hey, just hang a little bit back. I'm doing some intervals or, whatever, or, take a pull or, however you guys work it out. But, the first thing you got to do is say, hey, you're there.
Yeah.
Because nothing's worse than looking back and seeing
especially if it's a training ride or draft, you're seeing somebody draft and you're just out on a casual ride. Like that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you doing back there?
Exactly. What are you doing?
Get up here next to me.
And I've drafted off of people I haven't known on a training ride. But I've always announced
it.
And I've always been like, hey, I just caught up to you guys. Is it cool if I just hang off the back, for a little bit?
Yeah.
And, if you want me to take a pull, just let me know.
Yeah.
And usually they're like, whatever, man. They're pretty cool. Everybody's really pretty cool as long as you talk first. But the times that I've gotten upset at people is usually when they don't say anything when they're coming up on me. So
avoid those situations.
Yep.
So cool.
So. All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's, so that's Jonas. That's the whole situation there. I mean, as far as other unwritten rules, it's usually almost all of them come around safety, which is like, why are they unwritten? But there's just a joke about that. But really it's just, like I said, most of these just come down to basic common sense. So,
one of my other ones is like holding your line, So I tend to see this a lot in newer riders. They especially when they're new to riding in a pack, they see the pothole and they want to go super far away from it, and that could be into other people, and they're not communicating that there's a pothole up there. So if you don't communicate it, guess what, you're riding through it.
And that's the thing. I mean, just call out the obstructions and road situations for sure. And one just kind of in that vein, one that's when people stand up, like a lot of times I've seen in groups, and I don't know how common this is, but I have seen in groups where people indicate before they stand up, because a lot of times people stand up, their bike rocks back. And so if there is a pace line or something, somebody stands up, it can create a domino effect of people falling down pretty quick. So sometimes people will ask that you call that out. And then just another good tip is like, just make sure you shift gears and get the right gearing before you stand up, and that'll keep that bike rocking from happening. But there's like little pet peeves that I've noticed when I ride with people, especially in Unbound, because like you're in a good pace line and then they want to stand up, which I totally get, but then they end up rocking back, and it shuts the whole thing down, and then it creates a accordion effect.
Creating those little accelerations off the front, which is another unwritten rule. It's just how to, you don't want to keep trying to accelerate because you keep accordion effect the whole group dynamic. You just want to make everything smooth and super smooth and controlled and predictable. Really, it's the more predictable your riding is, the safer it is, and the more people like riding with you. So if you find yourself riding alone a lot, then chances are you may not be as predictable as you think you are.
Well, and that's just where getting out in group rides, social rides is really helpful, and just learn from the people around you. I mean, I can tell you, I've probably learned I think every year we go out for group rides, I learn something different every year.
Yep.
And it's funny too, like every group has their own hand signals, which is kind of funny too. There's not, I mean, there's a lot of universal hand signals in cycling. This one, I get the one finger a lot. And hands, I just don't know
like
what
that middle one.
It's like, weird.
It means something else to everybody else, but I'm like, oh. Yeah, from what I heard is that people just really like me.
Right. But no, I mean, just go ride in a lot of groups and really just, pick up the knowledge from people, especially from the more experienced riders. Those unwritten rules become pretty clear fast.
Yep.
So you want to talk about a little bit of other news in the cycling world?
Yeah.
So
unprecedented, once in a lifetime type deal that Mathieu van der Poel has won 8 world titles.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? In cyclocross,
in cyclocross to basically tie himself with Marianne Vos, the GOAT.
It's crazy. I mean, it kind of makes, I got a few folks I know that think that Van der Poel is the best cyclist of all time.
Yeah,
let's put him up there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you think about cyclocross and what a discipline it is, and like if you don't watch cyclocross,
I don't know what you're doing with your life, dude. It's only 40 minutes. You can totally watch it tape to tape. And it's amazing.
It's pretty wild. And, it took me a while to kind of get over the whole hop off the bike, run up the hill thing. To me, that just like when I first saw cyclocross, I'm like, what are we doing, guys? But then when you think about like how much athleticism that takes, and you watch how fluid and how smooth these guys dismount and remount their bike after running up a, steep, they're not running up the hill because it's a low grade. They're running up because it's too steep to pedal usually.
Yeah. So it's faster to run up
it and saves energy in many cases. So if you didn't get a chance to go back and watch, check out on YouTube. Flow Sports has the full race of the championship run that he made. And it's phenomenal to watch. Incredible athlete. And I think there's pretty clear, like, between he and Tade, and you figure like if you had to pick one cyclist to win a race, who would you pick? Like,
right.
Oh man. I mean, you really just come down to the course, but even then you're like, I don't know, just to win one day, one race.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably pick Van der Poel.
Yeah.
I mean, just a stronger rider overall. And his ability to accelerate is unreal.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just like that once in a generational talent.
Yeah.
Just to be able to witness it was, it's just, it's just great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want. And, any sport is you want to just see these.
Now, if we just get him to come over here to Unbound and do that.
Oh gosh.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Mop the floor with everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what kind of has me, like, with gravel cycling, like I think our prior episode was, is gravel getting too serious? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, when you kind of compare, it's almost like, the gap that was there with American soccer and European soccer. It's like, that's a nice little amateur sport you got over there.
Exactly. You guys kick the ball around. That's cute.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Look at you. You can bounce it off your forehead. That's good.
Good job.
Yeah.
So, no, it's basically like if you're like, oh, if the pros ever came over to Unbound, they'd have a really hard time. Yeah, because they don't have any support, like pro support. But like if somebody like Van der Poel came over, he would mop the floor with everybody who is here.
Those cyclocross guys that know how to handle a bike would have no trouble at all. I mean, the conditioning, they could train up for the conditioning of it. You've seen some of the pros that have been over here, and there's a ash heap of terrible luck and terrible performances out of them, but most of them are what you would probably consider top middle of the tour. They're not the elite. So
and they're also too, like, they're not, again, they look at gravel as just like
it's a training ride.
Nobody's
out here putting their A race event, like
the money is not there,
right?
They're they get paid more by the team. It's more of a PR stunt than it is anything else.
Yeah.
And so
if you, I would love to see it though. I'd love to see. Now we, obviously there are former tour riders that ride in Lifetime, right?
Yep.
So we know that there's, and we see what happens there. They don't exactly win but they're also guys that are out of the tour for several years now, or retired out of the tour.
Yep.
and are just riding, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong, but you can't really do the comparison there.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah. So anyway, Van der Poel having 8 straight cyclocross championships. That's pretty impressive. You can't go an episode without talking about that.
No,
so
it's just like, when Ovi broke 800.
Yeah, that's right.
Or 890.
Yeah.
So he's past 900.
I was going to say well over 900 now. So,
but we won't get into hockey.
Not this time.
Not this time. We got the Olympics coming up. You definitely want to watch Team USA and Team Canada. I think they're going to mop the floor with a lot of stuff. They got a good team going into the Olympics.
It's gonna be fun to watch that one.
Yeah.
So cool.
So good.
All right. Anything else? We got a little light episode this week.
Yeah, just super light. Just keeping it. We're really working on trying to get a set schedule so we can get the episodes back on track. So this is us trying to get some stuff moved around. But
it's also a slow time of the year. We're not going to lie.
We're not going to lie.
It's a slow time of the year. The season is going to be starting up here in a few short weeks. We'll see some warmer weather. Hopefully they'll come with that. We got a couple episodes between now and then that we're going to sort of fill some time with and hopefully keep everybody entertained. And then tell you what, when March gets here and we get Dirty Disco under our belt, I hope the weather holds up for that. I'm really looking forward to that event.
Yeah.
We get that one and then we're right into the heels of April, and look out, gravel season's gonna be here fast and furious.
Yep.
So, got a lot of exciting things planned for it.
Yep. Danny's got some exciting news too.
I do.
Yeah. This week.
Yeah.
He's switched over to the dark side.
Now you got me confused.
He's gone full weightlifting.
Oh, that's right.
He's gone super beast mode.
Yeah.
In his training.
It's like those memes, like you spend 1 week in the gym. Do you see the results yet?
Yeah, exactly.
See how ripped it is? Yeah. No, I just
pick something up off the shelf over there.
See if I can lift this little drink here. No, I think I talked about that a few weeks ago. We adjusted the training plan a little bit. Decided to put a strength block in because I felt like I was not adhering to the strength workouts, and when you don't do things consistently, you can't expect the results from them. It's a weird concept.
What?
So I know, right? I know, crazy. So did some strength, put a strength block in, and it's been fun. It's been fun getting something different. I wish I had done it, in the fall, but we'll get what we get out of it. It's been a 10-week block, about 40% through it, and it's weird because I'm not doing as much volume as I was doing before.
Are you feeling the gains or anything? Or
I'm definitely feeling it. So what's interesting is I'm on the bike. I was a little worried that I'm not riding as much, so I was kind of worried like endurance will start to drop off, which it has. I mean, could I go out and ride 4, 5, 6 hours right now? Yeah, I could, right? But it probably might be a little, it might get a little rough towards the end. But I will say, in the 2 to 3 hour efforts that I'm doing right now, you can definitely feel like let me put it this way. I'm a lot more aware of my body position on the bike than I ever have been.
Right.
So when you isolate your movements in your strength workout, you now know what that feels like. And when you go to the bike and you don't feel that same feeling, then you get your body in the right position. And now you can feel those muscles engaging. Right. And so I think I'm going to be a lot more aware of that, which is going to create, hopefully create a better power profile this year.
Yeah. The neuromuscular.
Yeah,
connection.
exactly. And then also just having the durability from the strength. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It really has been. I will not be dropping strength completely. I will be going into a maintenance mode after the 10 weeks are up, and then kind of in a hybrid mode over the next, the last 3 or 4 weeks of the strength block, I pick up a lot more bike volume. So we'll see how I hold up during that. That could be interesting. You got a heavy lift day followed by a hard bike day. We'll see.
Yeah. I find those I did last week. I made the mistake of doing legs, and then I had a big gear work afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, my legs were smoked.
Yeah.
But I got through it. I had the muscle to do it.
Sure.
It's just the next day I could feel it. And usually, when I do legs and then I do a bike ride and then, there's just that general fatigue that builds through the week.
Yeah.
And then of course all the weekend riding's super easy anyway. So,
right.
So but when I stacked those two, because I wanted to see like how much the strength training was still kind of affecting the bike riding. It didn't affect that bike ride. but it did affect the ride, the next ride. Which was telling, which is good.
Yeah.
So it's again, it's one of those things that you want to find that stuff out now.
Yeah.
So that like when you start to plan out your later season stuff, you're like, okay, I'm not going to lift legs right before I go and, race my bike.
Right.
Like give it like, let's say 3 days.
Give you a couple of days to recover.
So then I don't have to like be like, oh, I have to cut it out completely because I don't know how it's going to affect me. It's good to do these tests now to try to feel,
right.
What you have to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's also something that I'm going to be interested in this year is, focusing on the recovery aspect. So by doing all the strength work, it's made me be a lot more aware of the recovery side. I'm anxious to see how that translates when the season starts to pick up and the volume starts to pick up, like that recovery for the next bike ride. And can I carry that kind of those concepts over? And because I think one of the things I've noticed over the last few years, if I did a hard bike ride and I was a little zapped going into the next day, I would just go ride, right? And I'm trying to figure out where's that line of you definitely want fatigue on your legs when you're going like Saturday, Sunday, back-to-back long rides. You want that fatigue going into Sunday so that you can kind of simulate what that ultra long day is going to feel like. But you don't need that every day, And so you got to give your body a chance to recover. And I'm anxious to see kind of how some of the adjustments in the plan this year, how it works. And I'm a lot more disciplined with the recovery side. And does that keep me sharper for those weekends? So we'll see. I don't know. It'll be fun. Good. But yeah, the strength has been a lot of fun. Hopefully by summer, I'll,
he'll be leaned out. He'll be ready for his first competition, lifting weights all greased up in baby oil.
That's not something
spray tan.
Nobody wants to see that,
buddy.
Nobody wants to see that. I'm sure I even want to see that. Why would I subject to somebody else to that? That's too good. It's too good. So cool. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you guys for sticking around for the short episode. And remember, leave a thumbs up in the comments, comment anywhere, anything. And you'll get your name entered into the free giveaway for Open Range. And have a great one. And we will talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Please, if you like what we are doing here, leave a like, rate us, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. It really helps us grow and finds us more SufferSooner squad mates. And remember, when the finish line feels impossibly far away, we don't give up, we push harder, we dig deeper, and we find solace in the knowledge that our suffering is temporary and our resilience is forever.